if they beat him, all it proves to me is that they just continue what they've always done. They just beat up on first and second year quarterbacks. He's second year quarterback. Like so
But he's also an
it's
athlete they haven't seen all season.
but he also is an athlete that wants to and is a pocket first, throw first quarterback, and therefore when you have he is got the same mentality when it comes to the running and stuff as far as quarterback and like whether you're run first or pass first. I look at him and his mentality a lot like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron, he can scoot, he'll take off, he'll do it, but when he's scrambling behind the line of scrimmage, it's always pass first, run last. And I feel like that's Lamar's game and why he hasn't taken big shots. But that's that's not defending Michael Vick. And I don't know, maybe they'll run more design, read option and stuff, but at the same time, if they beat him and he looks terrible, is it really that big of a deal for the Patriots defense? Because he's still, at the end of the day, he's still a second-year quarterback that hasn't seen everything in the league yet and can be confused and put into negative situations that put your defense in favorable situations. And it just so it is what it is with me, I guess. And
I got it. I know you've had the same theory the whole season, so I mean, yeah, I appreciate you sticking to your guns, but I just think the kicking game is going to be Achilles' heel for, and no pun intended, for the Patriots. It's just, if you look at it, Gostkowski going down, how many kickers have they gone through, Dylan? What, 5 or 6?
I don't think it's been that many, has it?
I don't know. So 4 now. So, okay, 4 kickers through 8 weeks. So what are they going to do? Go through another 4 kickers, another 8 weeks, and have 8?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think the kicking game is what's going to do him in. I think it's more offensive line, the lack of a vertical threat.
Yeah, Brady did get hit quite a bit, even the Jets game, even when they were still piling on.
Can I also just say this? My power rankings and where I have them ranked have absolutely nothing to do with this bogus bullshit that Tom Brady is declining. I'm so tired of hearing that, and I'm not a Brady fan. I'm not a Patriots fan. Watch the tape. Like, just because if your argument for his decline is the fact that he doesn't throw anything down the field, you're being an ass. You're just being an ass because that's just what the offense does. Look, they're hard to find, but if you really want to know if he's declining or not, just go watch enough film and just find all the throws that he has to make downfield. Watch him throw the ball. There's no arm talent decline there, guys. Like, there just isn't. And it drives me nuts because I don't like him. But clearly by what I can see his arm is still capable of doing, if he wants to play till he's 45, at this point, from what I see, his arm talent, his ability to throw the ball anywhere on the field, there is no decline. The fact that he runs an offense that does not require him to do that because they don't have good offensive linemen, he's still a statue, always has been, and his body is 43 years old. They don't want him to get hit. So, they're going to do things to keep him so he can be throwing the ball at 45 because of his arm talent. But if his legs get taken out or he breaks his freaking ribs, he's not going to be able to last that long. So, I mean, this is just smart. Stop with the decline of Brady. Like, the arm talent is not declining, people. And this is not a biased Patriots person talking here. You guys know that. I'm so sick and tired of every Brady hater, every Patriots person, or every person that's trying to be a hot take artist or wants to make a name, and so they think they're going to do it by jumping on this or creating this story about Brady's demise and decline and point to all this other stuff I was just talking about. It's laziness and it's false. It's not real. So, and I, again, to reiterate, I am saying this as somebody that does not believe he's the GOAT, does not think, a lot of him, don't think he's a golden boy. I'm not a fan of his, and I'm not a Patriots fan. But I respect what he does. I respect what he's able to do at his age. I respect how they run their system because the proof's in the pudding. They win more than anybody else, more consistently. But stop. Enough is enough. Like, when it comes, we'll promise. I will tell you. I'll admit it. I'll be there. And I'll be glad to report it. Right now, no. Stop.
Does Emmanuel Sanders change your guys' opinion of the 49ers offense at all?
No. Not right now.
Bit, yes.
Maybe in a couple weeks.
A tiny bit, because of the fact of now Jimmy has a designated go-to guy. Kittle was already double covered. He's still going to be. So people are going to think, okay, he just got here. He's not that in tune with the offense yet. It's going to give Sanders more chances to prove himself with Jimmy Garoppolo as his quarterback, and I feel like he's going to be their go-to guy because, I mean, look what he did for Flacco this season. The Flacco and them wouldn't have 2 wins right now if it wasn't for Emmanuel Sanders.
Right.
So that's why I feel Emmanuel Sanders brings somewhat, yes, of a difference to their offense, and it just adds another wrinkle Kyle Shanahan can use. But I will say this. I feel like the power rankings for us have gotten out. I feel like we're the only show that puts them out at week 8 because we like things to develop how they are through weeks 1 to 8. I like that.
Well, I mean, otherwise we're just everybody else, man. And like, I want to see what teams are going to do when they get through that first couple of weeks where there's like these goofy injuries that are, take players out. That when teams find themselves offensively and defensively, like right now, we have a pretty good gauge of what trajectory teams are going. Teams aren't complete yet. It's going to take a few more weeks, really. I know it sounds funny, but like right now, we know what teams are heading up and what teams are clearly heading down. And there's plenty of them that you can that are in the middle that are so-so and might swap and really aren't going to be playoff teams, but they make interesting cases. I mean, and I'm not trying to be a dick to everybody else that does it. I understand you're trying to do your job. You're trying to do that. It just, in my personal opinion, it just doesn't make sense before this point in the season. There's just not enough data to go off of, enough film, enough plays, enough results, and what's going on for me.
So I'm going to start doing it since rankings have come out. I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. The playoff picture would be right now, because we got to start doing it because since it's week 9 and forward from after here, we got to start listing this, in my opinion. If we're being listing who's on the hunt and stuff like that. Obviously, AFC, we're going to start with 1. Patriots. Seed 2 is the Colts. Man, I think it'd be pretty tough for teams to go into Indianapolis on a bye and play in that stadium, especially that crowd rocking and Brissett's kind of carrying the load. I think Indianapolis would be a tough place to play. Also, Baltimore.
Where did you have the Texans ranked? Or the Colts ranked at 10?
Yeah,
the Ravens would be the 2 seat right now, not the Colts.
What are you dude? I'm looking at ESPN playoff picture standings right now.
Well, I'm talking about off our power rankings. You go off our power rankings.
I'm going off playoff picture.
Oh. Well, I thought you were doing this as like our game here. You weren't clear about what we were doing. I got
Dylan,
very
did
confused.
I say playoff picture?
I thought we were doing our version of it, though, based off our power rankings. You're very confusing with what you're wanting. Just, never mind. Never mind.
Hold on. I want to ask. Dylan, did I say playoff picture?
Dave, you're worse than Drew Brees.
Ooh, so I'm on Jay's shit list. Okay. Number 3, Baltimore Ravens is the 3rd seed in that. 4th is the Chiefs, even after missing Mahomes and possibly another 2 weeks. Number 5, circling the wagons at the Bills, our 5th seed right now. The Texans would round out the second wild card spot. So in that matchup, you'd have Houston versus Baltimore. That'd be a good game.
Hell yeah.
And then you'd have Buffalo versus the Chiefs. You'd have that really nice defense facing off against Mahomes.
So who do you like in each of those matchups, assuming Mahomes is back?
Mahomes is back, fully healthy, obviously. I I don't know, man. The Buffalo Bills defense they're still good. I understand they just gave up a loss to Philly, but they just introduced the monster named Miles Sanders to the NFL world. Um, and he's been around in the league already, yes, but I'm talking about the fact that Sanders was like fully heavy workload and he's a beast. I hate you already for this.
All right.
Well, anyways, I give Buffalo a chance, but I think Kansas City edges them out. I think it ends up a little bit of like the Detroit game with Kansas City a couple weeks ago, and Buffalo gets up big on them, and then Kansas City comes back, crawls back in it, and then escapes with a W. But I see Baltimore winning against Houston. I love Deshaun Watson, but I think Baltimore's got a little bit tougher defense now with the weapons they've added in free agency and trades as well. I feel like they
you
could.
know, I had my mic muted, so nobody heard me say that Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes do State Farm commercials together.
I'm
That's
glad
Aaron
you
Rodgers,
had it.
Mahomie, and therefore Mahomes is at home, and so he will win, and they will get discount double checked. I just had to say it again.
In the event of a Chiefs Packers Super Bowl, how epic of a State Farm commercial could we expect?
Well, I know Aaron Rodgers.
Right
Aaron Rodgers' agent would go nuts because he that's both his agent, and then how is he going to be on both sidelines, communicating freely to both the quarterbacks, and then who does he want to win? That creates a conundrum
Dylan,
for the sports agent.
I hate you for asking that. I hate you.
It creates a very interesting commercial, because then you have to have the sports agent be schizophrenic because he doesn't know what the hell he's supposed to be doing because both his quarterbacks, who happen to be very good friends, who he represents, but then what happens with the State Farm agents is more important because they're like unified.
Why are you so in depth about this? That's what I want to know.
Actually,
I'm trying to talk about playoff picture, and you're just over here like, hey, the State Farm agent's got to do this and that.
They've not met in the big game since back in the days of
Super
Lombardi
Bowl
and
I.
correct?
Super Bowl I.
Packers won that game.
How awesome on the 100th season if they were to meet again. I mean, wow.
Anyway, so what would end up happening is that the two State Farm agents would go to war.
Anyways, in the hunt for the AFC, the teams I'm looking at actually are really surprising me. Jacksonville, with even Nick Foles coming back, being healthy, they're right there outside the wild card spot. And then you also have
Minshew.
No, they've already said when Foles is healthy, he's coming back, and it's probably going to be this week or the next week.
And he's not gonna do it.
He broke his shoulder and still threw a touchdown pass on the play. He broke his shoulder.
No, he's not gonna do it. He used all his magic in Philly.
No, he did. What? Oh my God. Anyways, Tennessee Titans are the second in the hunt team, which, hey-o, Tanny is 2-0. Mariota, take a seat in the back of the bus. Pittsburgh Steelers are somehow still in the hunt, folks. After that win against Miami, what did I say, Dylan? Launching pad win.
That's some result right there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, man. Tomlin's done it time and time again to bring that team back to the depths. Pittsburgh was one of the first few teams to win on a 6th seed to come back and go through the Super Bowl and win it.
Hey,
so
we've been wondering for years what this team would look like without the Killer Bees, and now we're officially seeing it.
Yeah. And then the fourth in the hunt, Oakland Raiders. You mentioned a little bit earlier to Gruden and Mayock.